Hello and welcome back to Good Germs Off-Road Adventures, and welcome back to the shop, and welcome back to Project Donkey. So if you recall what Project Donkey is, well, we're making an off-road ATV trailer to tow behind the ATV quads, four-wheelers. Anyway, to tow behind them and go off-road and do off-road things with the trailer. Since then, got a little under the weather, some other things going on, but we're back at it. Today, we're going to try to knock out the frame, or at least get as far as we can with the frame on this thing. And but today, we're going to try to knock out the frame, or at least make as much of the frame as we possibly can. We'll have to see how far we get. Don't really know. But if you remember, we went ahead and cut the bits here, whatever that length was, 50 something inches and 36 inches in there. And I remember telling y'all that I might narrow that up. And this was the fit test I was going to do. So you can see we've got a cooler inside of the frame here. And that's the biggest cooler I probably would ever use as far as the width of it. And then I've got an easy up. Then we've got a lot of space there. And I'm thinking I want to close up that space. So with that, we're going to go ahead and measure that, shorten up those, the metal that goes from side to side right there. We're going to go ahead and shorten that up. In the meantime, I went ahead and picked up a few more bits of steel along with cleaning up the others that we're going to use. And you can see I've got 5 more sticks of the fencing from the backyard, including the one with the latch. Probably take that off. And then some other steel that we'll use to make other bits. Look, I've mentioned it before. I'm not a fabricator. I'm not a welder, but I am definitely going to do my best to pretend to be both of those things. So stick around and hang out with me as we go ahead and get into the Project Donkey adventure together. Okay, so like I was saying, this is pretty much as wide as I need it. Now this makes it like 40 inches wide from side to side, plus tires. We're going to be pretty wide and end up being wider than the quad. And I'm going to try to keep this as narrow as I can, so that way hopefully it won't be any wider than a quad. But let's have a look and see how much space we can get rid of. Looks like safely we can probably log off. We're not going to log off anything. This is not a computer program. I think we can lob off 6 inches pretty safely. I could go as far as 8, but that would make it snug, and I don't want it too tight inside the box. So I think if we cut 6 inches off those bits, and then we know we're going to make the other one 30 inches. So it'll be 34 inches wide in total. And then by the time you add tires to it, 34 inches, call it another, I don't know, some more inches. It should be pretty close to the width of an ATV quad four-wheeler type of deal. So I'm just going to go ahead, get these off the ground, get them marked, get them measured, marked, and cut, and we'll see how that goes from there. Bum. Okay, well now let's see how we did there. Okay, I realize you were just probably staring at my face while I did that, but let's have a look. Well, I think that looks a lot better. I think the width is going to be just about right, especially when we add about another probably 18 inches to the overall width, which right now the overall width of this would be about 34 inches. Add 18, that would be 40, I don't know, no, whatever 34 and 18 is. I guess that's 52, so it'd be 52 inches wide in total. And that's just an estimate, because I really don't know how wide it's going to be after the tires are on it, but 52 inches is probably a lot better than closer to 5 feet, so I think this is going to be much better. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 more bits at that same 30-inch length to go ahead and put in the middle bit for supports for the floor. Okay, so I've got all of the pieces cut for the floor of the trailer. We got them all cut. So here's now what it looks like. And the math worked out pretty good, not on purpose, but you can see we've got, the supports here. And they're 18 inches on center for these 2 here in the middle. That worked out pretty good. The math was easy. 54 divided by 3 is 18, and that's nice. Is that right? Sure. So I think now the next step is we're going to have to go ahead and clean up everywhere we're going to do welding, because I don't know if that's powder coat or paint, but either way, welding, that's not a good idea. Plus there's some surface rust on the ends of some of these just from being outside. So I'm going to go ahead and get a grinder with a flat wheel on it. We'll just go ahead and get to cleaning some of this up so we can get to doing welding things. Okay, well now I've got all of the welding mating surfaces, not services. Anyway, they're all cleaned up and ready to weld. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to tack in the 4 corners and then measure it, make sure we're square. And if we're not square, I'll tap it to where it is square, and then we'll put some more tacks in it, double check it. Should be good after that. And then after those are in, we'll put the other 2 bits in right there, and you can see we've got those surfaces cleaned up. Let me tell you, it's hot. Make sure you're staying hydrated. It's 103.4 degrees according to the, clock on the wall that tells temperature as well as time. And, well, stay hydrated, stay safe, but We're going to get this welder out, and I haven't had this welder out in a while. Sorry for the wind noise. I'm standing right in front of a giant fan. We're going to pull this old welder out here. Yep, it's following me. We're going to bring it over to the power up here. And, well, let's have a look at this old welder. As you can see, it's the 90 amp flex wire welder from Harbor Freight, and it's about 10 years old, and it was about 80 bucks. Bought it for myself for my birthday one year, and well, it's been sitting a while, and the garage does leak, so there's water spots all over it. I'm sure that's fine, and probably should go ahead and clean this up before we start using it. Okay, so now I've got the old welder cleaned off, and it does have some wire in it, and I've got another couple extra spools of flux core wire, and it's hooked up and turned on, so I guess we're just gonna do it. Don't laugh. Look, remember, I don't know what I'm doing. We're just gonna do welding things. Okay, so I almost forgot to get my welding hat. That would have been bad. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do any of this. Is that good enough for a tack? That's all I want right now. It's good enough for a tack. Well, that seems like it'll hold. I may have to hit that one again. Well, I think that'll hold good enough for a little bit of a tack. I'm going to move to the other end, do the same thing, and then we'll check the dimensions. Okay. All right, so now it's time to measure and see how we are corner to corner. That is 64 inches on the nose. And let's check this one. See, 63 and a half. So we're a little out of wonky. So we need to straighten that up. And I think it's this way. Come back. Okay, 63 3/4. And still 63.5. So it's just moved a little bit. I need it to move a little bit more. That weld over there is going to come off. That's fine. That's better. Now let's check this other side once more. Bam. Both angles are now 63 3/4 on both, of the direct. It's more or less square. So we're going to go ahead and finish welding it up. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Now I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway. Okay, so clearly these welds, they're a little ugly. But remember what I said when I started. Not a welder, not a fabricator. So I'm just going to do the best that I can and the best I know how to do with the equipment that I've got here. The other thing is, I'm not really all that interested in how the welds look, as long as they hold up. That's all that I really care about. And I'm going to quote probably one of my favorite YouTubers out there right now, Puddin'. He always says, "The grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't." Well, you can be sure we're going to use a lot of grinder and a lot of paint cleaning this thing up. But for now, I'm going to go ahead, burn in the rest of this, and I'll catch back up with you once that's done. Okay, well, we did lots of welding things, and like I mentioned earlier, they're not great, but hopefully they'll be strong enough. Every now and then you see a weld that doesn't look so bad, and then you see one that just looks horrible. But that's okay, because now that we have finished welding all these bits on, we're going to go ahead and hit this with the grinder with the flapping wheel. The idea there is, well, we'll clean it up a bit. Well, that saying, you know, grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't. No, it doesn't. I am definitely not the welder that I ain't. But I think it'll do. It doesn't look too good, but that, again, it doesn't matter. I wonder how strong this is. I wonder if I can stand on this or use it as some sort of ladder. I don't know. Let's find out. Well, I went ahead and just propped it up on a pile of junk that I got to take to the recycling, and let's just see. I'm going to lose my balance. Not gonna lie, that feels pretty good. Yeah, you know, that's not so bad. Yay. You know, and I'm not a light fella, so that's okay, I think. I think that'll work for the base of, you know, Project Donkey Trailer. So I think that's probably going to do it for today. Didn't get as far as I really wanted to and got quite a few hours in here, but we've got the framework, we've got the base taken care of. So next we're going to build up the sides and the top rail, and that'll add even more structural rigidity to the donkey. So I guess, you know, in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button. That means a whole lot to me. And I really, really appreciate you hanging out with me today. Stay tuned for more Project Donkey and more of Project whatever we're going to call that. In the meantime, you know, I guess we'll see you later. Bye-bye now. I probably should stop using plastic tables for metal cutting and welding projects. They just don't really work too well.